Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video of Selenium Webdriver tutorial, and in this video we are going to see how to handle the checkboxes in Selenium. So this is the test website that we are going to work on it to learn how to handle the checkboxes. And if I reload this website, you can see that the checkbox 2 is by default it contains this enabled. The checkbox is enabled for checkbox 2 and this is disabled. This option is not checked for checkbox 1, and if you click on this checkbox 1, this gets checked. So let's go and analyze the HTML structure of this checkbox before doing a Selenium script for handling the checkboxes. So just right click and click on the inspect. It will take to particular tag, and this checkbox 1 and checkbox 2 that you can see here is present inside a tag name called form. So if I expand this form, it contains two tags. One is checkbox 1, so simultaneously you can see what is the element which is getting highlighted here. So when I keep my cursor in the input tag, so this one getting highlighted, first one getting highlighted. When I keep here, the second one is getting highlighted, and you can see that the second one in the checkbox 2, this checkbox 2 is enabled because this attribute check is taking care of marking the checkbox 2. If we remove this attribute, it will remain unchecked, that you can see in the UI here. So this is the attribute which is differentiate between checking and unchecking. So let me put that back to checked, so that by default this checkbox will be checked when the page gets loaded. So there is a method in Selenium which will return a boolean type whether a checkbox is checked or not. The method name is isSelected. We will see how to use that method, and we can use that dot isSelected in any web element. So, and when you see that input tag, the type of input tag is checkbox, and that's why you are seeing this check icon here. And if it is text, you can see a text box here, and if it is a radio button, you can see a radio button here. So this type is differentiating the control and making it as a checkbox. So let's write a script to disable the checkbox 2. First we are going to check whether the checkbox 2 is already checked or not. If it is checked, then we will write a script to uncheck it. So we have to write an XPath to target the checkbox 2. I will go with an input tag. So let's write an XPath here. Input at type equal to checkbox. So I can allocate that using an syntax that we have clearly explained how to write an XPath in a separate video. You can go and check it in the playlist. So I will copy the XPath for interacting with the checkbox 2, and I'm going to put that in an Eclipse. So this line is taking care of setting the Chrome driver exe, and this will instantiate the Chrome driver, and this will take us to this particular URL. So now I'm going to create a web element. Let's say checkbox 2. I'm going to assign this XPath that we have find right now to this particular web element. So let's input the respective functionality. So now I want to check whether this checkbox 2 is enabled or not. Now I'm going to print that in a sysout, so that you will get to know whether this checkbox 2 is by default enabled or not. The method I should use is selected, and if I use this isSelected method, you can see that the return type is a boolean, so it will return true if this is selected, and it will return false if this is not selected. So now we will write a script to uncheck this checkbox. To uncheck, you have to perform a click, and also to check, you have to perform a click. And the only thing which differentiate between checked or not is you have to use this dot isSelected. So if your ultimate aim is to select this checkbox too, but the web application itself by default select this checkbox too, then you have to just check checkbox 2 is selected. If it returned true, you don't need to do anything. If it returned false, then you have to write else condition, and there you have to perform a click. So now we are going to unselect this checkbox 2. So what I have to do is I have to perform a click operation on this checkbox 2. So to perform a click operation, we have already written an web element for this checkbox 2. We can use that same web element and perform a method click here. So if I execute this one, let's see what happens. So it's launched, and by default it was checked, and this script is taking care of unchecking the checkbox 2, and this is out print true because checkbox 2 is by default got selected, and when it comes here it will uncheck this checkbox 2. So if you want to ensure that whether it is already the checkbox is already selected or not, you can use this isSelected method, and if you want to select or deselect, you have to use a method click. So this is all about a checkbox, and this is how you can handle checkbox in any web application. And that's all for this video. If you like this video, give thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye.